Yes. So today we're going to get back to basics in terms of speaking tests. Yeah. Well, not necessarily everything is specific to speaking, but mostly it is. Yeah. So let's get started. What we need to know about the exam. So part one, test framework and language skills. So by mastering the IELTS framework or any other test framework for that matter, we cannot really jump over our skills baseline. Yeah. Now, what is a test framework? A test framework is a set of guidelines or rules used for creating and designing test cases. In other words, it is a set of principles used to build the test tasks. Now, what is a test? Let's realize, yeah. A test is a set of test bases and corresponding questions, or in other words, it is some material we have to explore or analyze to answer the test questions. Yeah, it comes in form of text or audio tracks, or in case of Cambridge, it also will come in form of a picture and the mind map. So we will have during the speaking test of Cambridge Advanced, we will have to describe our picture, then briefly to describe our partner's picture, and then to discuss a mind map and make a speech with regards to that mind map. So that's what I call a test basis. Yeah, something you have to explore in order to answer the test task questions. Yeah. Now, important notice about the tests. Yeah, so the tasks, the questions are made new for each and every test effort. Yeah, except for the task one, but task one is not assessed directly. Yeah, it is never ever scored, like your performance is not measured against your task one replies. Why? Because it's sort of a warm-up exercise. They just want you to have a couple of minutes to warm yourself up, yeah, to get fluent enough to get a better score, basically, to break the ice, to overcome the social anxiety, and so forth and so on. So that's how it is, yeah. Everything else, task two in IELTS, task three in IELTS, task 2, 3, and 4 in Cambridge are always generated anew, and they are made in a specifically misleading way. So the questions are very long, very wordy. They specifically are made so that you cannot really predict what they're going to ask you. Yeah, you have to improvise. So with that matter, trying to rehearse and memorize specific answers works against you. Yeah, whenever you are trying to memorize an answer, to study it by heart and try to reproduce it like you do with the poetry in school. Yeah, it's not going to work. Uh, moreover, it's going to work against you because, for instance, you can script and rehearse task one questions because, as I said, they're published. They're not really made in you. Yeah. But then the contrast between your task one performance and your task two, task three, task four performances is going to reveal that you were rehearsing. And this makes a bad impression about you. So you're going to have a lower score, uh, even with regards to your actual performance. Yeah. So we never, ever rehearse. Yeah. All right. Now, takeaways from here. Yeah. So we have two major aspects of speaking test, yeah, or any other language test for that matter. Test framework awareness and then actual language skills. Yeah, so how good you know what are the tasks, the test framework awareness, yeah, and or how good you can uh, perceive and produce the language, yeah. So for the best performance, we need to work on both. So these are the takeaways from this part, yeah. Now, do you guys have any questions, if any? Okay, I take it as no. So let's get to part two. Yeah, so now let's debrief what is a skill. What is a skill? Yeah, and why we have to separate skills from knowledge. Yeah. So now what is knowledge? Yeah, to have knowledge is to be aware of and to have a mental model of an object, a being, or a process. In other words, when you know something, you have an idea, a third pattern, a third form of that in your head. Yeah, it might be a description in form of words, it might be a certain image or a combination of images, something like that. So basically, it's some kind of a third form. Yeah, that is knowledge. Yeah. Now, what is a skill? A skill is an ability to do something, yeah, an ability to perform a particular task or set of tasks, yeah. In other words, a skill is an ability to do something, yeah, to produce some kind of work, yeah, or some kind of a result. That is the skill. So it's not just your thought, yeah, it's an ability to act upon your thought and produce a specific result, yeah, to accomplish a certain task. Now, again, skills versus knowledge, yeah. Knowing something doesn't automatically mean that you can act upon the knowledge, yeah. Doesn't automatically mean that you can accomplish the task that you know how to do. Yeah, let me demonstrate it on an example. So imagine you want to do a barbell squat. It's this exercise represented in this picture, yeah, to the right. So you learn how to do it, and now you know what do you have to do in order to perform a barbell squat, yeah. But if you cannot really raise a barbell, yeah, the bar itself weighs about 20 kilos, yeah. Does this knowledge enable you to do what you want? Yes. Well, it doesn't, yeah. So you know how to do a barbell squat, but you don't have the force, yeah, the ability to perform upon your knowledge, yeah. So if you cannot raise a barbell, you then need to start with some preparation exercises. Yeah, for example, like goblet squat. Yeah, to exercise with a light weight. Yeah, in order to improve your posture, to strengthen up your muscles, to gain the skill to squat with the weight. Yeah, first before you proceed to the barbell squat. Yeah, that's how it is. So in other words, let's summarize this. A skill is built by having experience, not just by gaining knowledge. Yeah. So a skill is something you gain through experience, yeah, not just by learning. Yeah. By learning, I mean in a mental sense, by creating a mental image of that. So here is the formula. Yeah. Skills are knowledge plus experience. Yeah. We have the formula, yeah, now for acquiring the skill. A skill is knowledge plus experience, yeah, something practical laid upon that knowledge, yeah. Now, the bitter truth about tests that not so many people realize, unfortunately, tests test your skills, not your knowledge, guys, yeah. They're specifically made, and I'm talking about first-hand experience now, they're specifically made that way that you always face something you didn't know, yeah, something you cannot really predict that you will need, yeah, always, because a language, even word-wise, a language has more than 200,000 of words, yeah. An educated individual knows maybe 10 to 15,000 of words, yeah. A professor, a linguist knows maybe like 50,000 of words, yeah. But again, it's only 20%. Even professor knows about 20% of the whole words in a language, yeah. So even a professor is likely to face unknown words during a speaking test or any other language test for that matter. So see how it is. So you cannot avoid really, practically, yeah, you cannot avoid facing unknown words and unusual structures in the test, yeah. So you have to build a skill to act upon unknown, yeah, to do something with what you have against what you don't know, yeah, to figure something else, to improvise. That is important. So again, key takeaways, yeah. Bad news: you cannot have all the possible knowledge, literally, yeah. practically you can, like, you even if you study the whole life, it is highly unlikely that you will have, because new words are added to vocabularies every year, for that matter. So it's virtually impossible to catch up. Okay, now good news. By developing your language skills, you still can train yourself to deal with unknown stuff. You see, you have to develop, like, when, for example, when you read a new text for a new topic, you don't know all the words, but you probably know, as an advanced speaker, or even if an upper intermediate speaker, you already know that sense when you can figure out what is going on. Because the context sort of hints you, what is going on, something like that. All right, let one moment see. Yes, exactly, Vadim. You are right. Yeah, up to 15,000. Sorry, 15,000 words per person. Yeah, on average, 5 to 10. On average, 5 to 10, I would say. Yeah, and as I said, professors like David Crystal maybe know 50 to 60,000 words, maybe. After all, the guy has invented the original pronunciation dictionary. So he probably knows much more than we do. But then again, he doesn't know everything. Because many words are very topic specific. They're related to some, for instance, quantum physics, differential equations, and stuff like that. Okay, let's not digress too much. Let's proceed. So another takeaway is that a knowledge is only as good as your experience of applying it. Basically, that's it. So if you know something, you still have to do some exercises to create a text, to speak it out, to do something with it. You cannot just learn it, and call it a day. Now, another bitter truth about skills is that a skill is like a physical shape. When you do not train it, it deteriorates. So basically, when you do not exercise, you lose your shape, you lose your age. And it is essentially the same with a skill, even with such skill like reading, writing, speaking. Why? Because all the skills, they're based on neural links in our brains. So when we don't use them, they get rewired for basically skills that we use more often. So the more often you use something, the more strong is the neural link. The higher power of electric signaling can get through it, basically. Otherwise it deteriorates, unfortunately. So we have to practice often. So we need to train daily for at least 20 minutes per skill. And do not skip practice for more than 48 hours, or we will start losing our shapes. Well, you can think that, well, that's a lot, because we have 4 skills. For 4 skills, 20 minutes each, it's 1 hour 20 minutes per day. But as we go further through our today's lesson, basically, I will give you a practical approach that will allow you to dedicate as little as 40 minutes and still get maximum progress. So let's get on it. Now, what are those skills? Let's list the skills that we really need. Types of the skills. So professional skills are commonly classified as hard skills and soft skills. You ought to know that. So let's just take this familiar classification and capitalize over it. Now, hard skills. So hard skills are your ability to understand the questions. The first hard skill, perception skills. Those are listening skills for IELTS Task 1 and 3, and listening skill for all Cambridge tasks, basically. And it is reading skill for IELTS Task 2. I'm talking about specifically about speaking tests right now. So that's what we need, mostly listening, but also some reading skills. Now, the second part is our ability to produce a direct answer to the questions, a question that would mirror an answer that would mirror the question structure. To you, that will use the same grammar structure and same wording or similar wording, just paraphrase as the answer gives. Then the second ability is to elaborate and explain. The third one is to provide examples or evidence, and the fourth one is to summarize your speech, yeah, and to make a summary of your speech, to make a conclusion, basically. The third group of skills is delivery skills, is fluency and coherence. Yeah, it's basically not what you can produce, but how do you produce it. Yeah, this is what this group of skills is responsible of. Yeah, fluency and coherence, how fluent you are, and how good is your sequence of thoughts, basically. Yeah, how smooth can you transition from one thought to another one, from one evidence to another one, and so forth and so on. Second in this group, lexical resource, basically how good is your vocabulary? Yeah, how many unique words can you use, and how this is the good count? Yeah, and how many descriptive definitions you have to use because you don't know exactly how to call something, yeah, an object or an entity or a process, yeah. And the third one in this range is grammatical range and accuracy, yeah, and this is like how many different forms can you use to express yourself, yeah, because yes, you can get away with as low as 30 to 40% of grammar structures, existing grammar structures in English language, yeah. But if you use all of them, or the majority of them, yeah, you become much more expressive, yeah. So how expressive you are, like how wide is the range of grammar skills that you can use to express yourself. And fourth is pronunciation. And with pronunciation, I must stop explicitly here that you don't have to sound like a native speaker exactly, but what you do have to do is that your accent must be clear. Yeah, you ought to work out all the sounds so they would be distinctive. Yeah, so one sound would not sound like another one. Yeah, it's especially comes when I mean the best example is th sound. Yeah, don't replace it with z, z, and d, another sound. Yes, if it's yeah, the th sound, yeah, you have to train yourself to produce some kind of th sound. Yeah, it might sound more rough than such of a native speaker on average, yeah, but it must be distinctive from all other fricative consonant sounds, unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately for us non-native speakers, yeah. So you have somehow to work this out, yeah, so your sounds would sound distinctive, yeah. So you don't have to, again, you don't have to sound like a Shakespeare, but you have to sound as understandable as Shakespeare, let's say, yeah, as clear as Shakespeare, so the words are not confused. All right, soft skills, yeah, three only in this class. The first one is your ability to cope up with stress, yeah. I would argue that this is the most important soft skill during especially a speaking test, because having a formal test, especially when you paid money for it, yeah, it's a stressful experience. Yeah, I guess you agree with that. Yeah, so you are stressed because you've been tested, you paid money for that, a certain part of your future depends on your performance. To a certain degree, your self-esteem, your sense of self is also dependent on your performance. So you're naturally nervous, you experience social anxiety, you experience the fear of being rejected and put down, and the fear of making a mistake. Yeah, so you experience that eerie feeling in your solar plexus, in the zone of your solar plexus. Yeah, so you have to somehow to deal with that, yeah, and to learn how to cope up with that, yeah, because you cannot eliminate it completely, but what you can learn how to work through it, basically, how to produce sufficient result while having that feeling. Yeah, that's what you can do. Now, your ability to generate ideas, yeah. So again, no matter how much you rehearse, how many topics you go through, how many practices you do, any speaking test will put you in a situation where you have to be spontaneous, yeah, to improvise, to produce something new for yourself, yeah. No other way around, no other way to cheat in here, yeah. You have to generate ideas. Yeah, again, these ideas are not some kind of Nobel Prize worth ideas. You don't have to invent a new energy or something like that. But you have to produce what I call a second grade idea. So you're given a topic and you have to get an idea. Oh, this is the situation, or this is the cause I can talk about. Yeah, this is the situation I'm most familiar about. I know the most. I have the most vocabulary about, so I can feel the most confident speaking about it. Yeah, something like that. That kind of idea I'm talking about. And number three, your ability to structure your thoughts. Again, this contributes to fluency and cohesion. Yeah, because if you have a good idea, you still have to structure your thoughts and therefore to structure your speech to make it understandable. Yeah, so people would understand you, and so you can communicate it to the examiner or pretty much any other human being. Yeah, for that matter. So I guess this is it. Yeah. What else? What else we might need? Yeah, so we need to have some awareness about the common topics such as technology, family and friends, education, animals, etc., etc. Yeah, we will have a list of topics. I will link it to you. I just created a huge one. We have 14 meta topics like technology, family, yada yada yada. Yeah. Then I have more than 100 subtopics, or sorry, topics to speak about, yeah, to create a group of lessons about. And then we have subtopics. Each subtopic makes one lesson, basically. Yeah? So we essentially we have more than 740. Yeah, we have precisely 742 subtopics to talk about, basically, to create lessons about. So plenty of practice for us. Yeah, and I will show you how to do it. All right, next. Part 4. Let's get to that mysterious word baseline. Yeah, what is baseline performance? What is it and what it is not? So what is your baseline? Yeah, so I think of it as the level of performance I can put out in a stressful situation doing a challenging but doable task. Yeah, something like, a speaking test is the one of the finest examples. Yeah, or imagine giving a public speech. Yeah, if we talk about something. Yeah, or imagine negotiation. Yeah, having a job interview. Yeah, though those are very very nice examples when you are in a stressful situation, you're doing a challenging task, but it is a doable task. Yeah, you can accomplish. You can win it, basically. Yeah, you can do it in your favor. That's how it is. So that is the baseline. Yeah, or in other words, we can imagine it. For example, imagine your worst performance is if I at 3 a.m. in the night, I wake you up with a gun in my hand and I ask you something incomprehensible, like tell me something about quantum mechanics. Yeah, tell me what's your position about boson of Higgs. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, so that's your worst performance, because you are completely stressed, you are completely put down. The time is completely inappropriate, and the situation is like basically your life is on at the stake. Yeah, and your best performance is when you are in the most comfortable environments. Imagine in your room talking to a friend on your most favorite topic and stuff like that. That's your best performance. Yeah, so your baseline is somewhere in between, but closer to the first case. Yeah, when you are the most stressful condition, because in the speaking test there will be it will not take place at 3 a.m. at night. Yeah, there will be no guns, but there will be no Uyghurs and no friends either. Yeah, there will be an ugly dude who will be asking you stupid questions, very synthetic questions, very like incomprehensible ones and stuff like that. So that's still close to your worst performance than to your best performance. Yeah, for that matter. Okay, now let's see what it is not. Yeah. So our baseline is not the performance level we have in a comfortable and controlled environment, as I just said. Yeah. So why many people think test is hard, because they think that their actual performance, their baseline performance, is their best performance. No, it is not. As I said, it's closer to our worst performance, not the best one. Now, again, what it is not, it's not the performance level you get doing something you love doing, unless you really like doing tests for your own money all day long. Yeah, so they're highly unlikely. Yes, so again, it's something closer to what you don't like doing, or you're like you do it because you have to, not because you like doing it. Yeah, you're not in a ecstatic bliss doing it, let's say. Yeah, and it's not. It's also not the good news. Yeah, it's also not the performance level that you get working on an advanced topic that requires a very special proficiency. Again, like differential equations or quantum mechanics. Many people misunderstand that, especially in terms of IELTS academic, because IELTS academic brings up scientific topics. Yeah, but the texts in IELTS academic, they do not require any amount of proficiency in the relevant science. They are built specifically in a way that pretty much average person can work something out. Yeah, so you don't have to be proficient on quantum mechanics, on differential equations, on neural science or something like that. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, don't even, I would say, don't even try. For the sake of passing the test, don't even try. It would be a waste of time, to be honest, unless you're genuinely interested in the topic. Yeah, so don't do it for the sake of the test. You don't have to. Yeah, but be ready that you will have some scientific life, I would call them. Yeah, not really scientific, but scientific life. It's like a scientific article in a popular magazine, something like that. Yeah, so it looks scientific. It has some advanced vocabulary, but it was specifically brought to feed a wide audience. Yeah, so you don't have to be proficient in that topic. You don't have to be a subject matter expert for that matter. Why mastering the framework cannot raise your baseline? In other words, why doing only mock tests, only practice tasks, practicing only tasks for that test will not raise your baseline as much as some freer exercises? Well, because again, yeah, framework awareness, knowing what the test is made of, and the language skills are two different skills. Yeah. So imagine you are learning to drive a car. Yeah. Does the skill of fixing car's engine help you much to become a better driver? Well, to a certain degree, it might help you, because when you know how an engine functions, you probably become more aware of how to use it. Yeah. But again, to learn how to drive, you have to drive, not to fix the engines. Yeah. So pretty much about it. Now, why mastering the framework cannot raise your baseline again? Yeah. Okay. This is a repetition, guys. Sorry. You have to eliminate this. And again, as I said before, as I said already, the tasks and questions are made in you for each and every test effort. Yeah. So again, yeah, you have to train skills. Yeah. You have to practice some freer practices, something that you do outside the test. Yeah, in order to both gain awareness and to basically to train your spontaneity, yeah, to train your improvisation skills. That's how it is. And now another tip is that warm-up questions are not assessed directly, as I said, yeah, so you don't get any score for them, yeah. But what they can do is they can impress your assessor, yeah, your examiner. They can make a good impression. But again, the good impression will not be made by a scripted answer. It's not something that you learn by heart, and that will be obvious that you talk it from your memory. Yeah, but the proper impression can be made by demonstrating this fluency and be spontaneous, be creative. Yeah, on the go, so that they see that you're doing it on the go. So again, no rehearsing, no scripting. Capitalize on your skills, not on your knowledge. And don't try to memorize everything, but rather develop the skills. Okay, now how to measure my baseline? Yeah, well, this is simple. Get a bunch of mock tests of your target tests. Yeah, do them while simulating the level of stress you will have. The easiest way to simulate that is to give yourself less time than the actual test prescribes. That's how you can do it. So basically, imagine you have 40 minutes for IELTS writing, do it in 25. Strive to do it in 25, yeah? That way you will simulate your performance during the actual test, because you have to do it faster, but you are comfortable, yeah? In real tests, you will be less comfortable, therefore your production will be slowed down, yeah? You will think slower because you will have some negative thoughts, will have stress and to cope up with stress and stuff like that. Yeah, you have to listen to the instructor So that all will eat your time, basically. That will slow you down. So that is the easiest way to simulate the heightened level of stress during your mock test. That's how you measure your baseline. Yeah, that you can the rough but surprisingly good approach to measure your baseline. Because actually, my last baseline measurements were very close to my actual score. It was half band away from my actual score, and I was hard on myself, to be honest. Yeah. So during the real test turned out to be a little bit easier than my mock tests, my trials. Okay. Now, to raise our baselines, we must have diverse experiences. Yeah, ideally, we have to cover all the topics, and by all the topics, I don't mean all the specific topics, but all the meta topics. Yeah, all the topics such as fashioning clothes, such as science and technology. I mean, we must have like 40 specific words, on average 40-45 specific words for each topic. Their collocations, some major trends in them and stuff like that. No, that's not a lot actually. You can cover one topic in arguably a few evenings, I would say. Yeah, that's not a lot, but we have to practice that. All right, now let's see if we still have time. Probably not. Now, guys, let's wrap up this call, and I will create a new one because we only have 6 minutes left. This is the free Zoom. So let me stop the share and stop the call now, and see you in the next one.